That just shows me that my aerobic base is not quite as strong as just doing my cool down after parkrun, guys. Find out where we did parkrun this week a little bit later in this video. Lots coming up in this video. Special interval session running to the MAF heart rate. I'm back on the time trial bike. Let's get into the video. Just mixing things up a little bit this morning with the MAF. Going to do a Yassos interval session. Now, I did one of these sessions about 12 months ago. Yassos are, for anyone who doesn't know, an 800 meter interval session, so I'm going to do 10 by 800. A little bit breezy, but that's okay. The main thing with this session is to stick within that heart rate range of 130 to 135 beats per minute. And the real trick to this session, doing it at the MAF heart rate, is the 200 meter walk recovery between each interval. So that just allows the heart rate to drop back down, allows me to get a good recovery of probably a couple of minutes or so. No real set pace to this session. The most important thing is sticking to that heart rate. 2k warm up done, guys. I'm not sure you can hear that wind coming through the microphone. It's yeah, I'm not sure what sort of benefit I'm going to get from doing these intervals, these Yasso intervals, especially going that way. But heart rate always elevates running into the wind, so it's just something I'm going to have to be mindful of. All right, a little bit of stretching, a few strides, and then get into it. Okay, warm up done, strides done, heart rate back to 82, so let's go. First one done, into the wind, bang on heart rate range. So just doing a 200 meter walk now, and already the heart rate's back down under 100. Five done. A little bit slower on that one, back into the wind. A lot easier running back that way with the wind. Just had to ease off a little bit on that rep. Heart rate was getting to the top range of that 130, 135 beats per minute. Eight done. Still well within my heart rate MAF range. A lot tougher going into the wind, obviously. I think I just noticed on that last one about 10 seconds faster going this way, but as I said earlier, guys, it's not about the pace, it's about sticking to that heart rate. So 2 to go, let's get them done. Ten done, guys. Just do this 200 meter walk recovery, and then I'll do the cool down, and then might head home and dissect this session because a bit windy here and it's probably coming through on the microphone. So see you in a bit. Hi guys, back home now after doing those Yassos this morning. I really do enjoy doing this session. I've used the Yassos in the past in marathon training blocks and they worked really well for me. Great indicator for working out what your time may be in a marathon. In the past, I've set out to run a sub 3 hour marathon, and I've used this Yasso session to run the 10 800s at 3 minutes or better. And in both times that I've run those sub 3 hour marathons, I've been able to do the 10 by 800 Yassos at 3 minutes or better. So great indicator. A little bit different using it for the MAF, looking for a completely different outcome, looking for just leg turnover to be moving just a little bit quicker than just a normal MAF run. Now, as you saw in that little bit of footage earlier, guys, the conditions were less than fabulous this morning, but some really interesting statistics coming after I had a look at Strava. I must admit I'm a little bit of a stats geek when it comes to running, and while you can't really compare a session that I did today to almost 12 months ago completely, you can get a bit of a guide or a bit of a gauge as to how you're traveling from one session to another. Now, 12 months ago, I had not long finished a 50-kilometre trail event at the Tarawera Ultramarathon in New Zealand, so my fitness was a hell of a lot better than it is at the moment, and that's mainly because I was running 120k plus weeks, and at the moment I'm only doing about 50 to 60 kilometres a week, so there's a bit of difference there in mileage. But the really surprising and pleasing thing about today was that my average per kilometre pace for last year's Yassos session and today's Yassos session, exactly the same, 4:26 per kilometre average. The only difference was that my heart rate last year on average was 127. My average heart rate this morning was 130. So that just shows me that my aerobic base is not quite as strong as what it was 12 months ago. I was really surprised that the pace was comparable to what it was last year, because I didn't expect that. I thought that last year's might have been a little bit quicker. So why do I do these type of sessions with the MAF running? Well, I touched on it a little bit earlier, and for me it's about getting the legs moving just a little bit quicker. Now, if I was to go out and do an 8 or 10 kilometre run at that 4:26 per kilometre average that I got today in those Yassos, I wouldn't be able to sustain it in my MAF heart rate range of 130 to 135 beats per minute. So the shorter distances allows me to go a little bit quicker, but still keep my heart rate within that 130, 135 beats per minute range. Now, obviously you can do shorter distances or longer distances, whatever works for you, but I just find that 800 is a real sweet spot for me. I think if I was to go any longer, I think I would see the heart rate start to rise above my MAF heart rate range. You can do any kind of variation to these intervals, guys. You can do 600s, 400s, 200s. If you feel you want to go a little bit longer, you can as well. But the main thing to remember is don't start out too fast in each interval, and make sure your recovery period is long enough to allow your heart rate to drop down to a level which is fairly well recovered after doing each interval. Now for me today, I was sitting around about 100 or a little bit under 100 beats per minute at the end of my recoveries after each interval, and that for me is a sweet spot, so that works really well. Now you can also do this on hills as well, guys. I've used hills in the past exactly the same way. Found a nice hill which has got a gradual slope on it, not too steep. The steeper it is, the quicker your heart rate's going to get up there really high. Good warm up, some drills, and then go into whatever session you've got worked out, whether it be by time or whether it be by reaching a distance or reaching your MAF heart rate level. For me, I've done it on time in the past, 15, 20 seconds, and then just turn around, walk back down to the bottom of the hill. Just gives you a good recovery so that you start again. Again, making sure that you don't start off too quickly to really hit that heart rate going up too high. Now, these type of sessions are a great transition from just running normal MAF running into a more structured speed block. So that part in the middle, just doing these MAF intervals gets you ready for that more anaerobic pace. Now, I do recommend, guys, that you don't go straight into doing these type of MAF intervals too quickly. If you're only new to MAF, give the MAF plenty of time to do its magic. Be patient, be consistent. I know it's going to be slow when you start out, but stick at it, guys, because as your aerobic base builds and gets stronger, your pace is going to get quicker. Give it, 6 weeks, a couple of months, 3 months or whatever, and then just slowly incorporate some of these MAF sessions. And that's what I'm doing now in the MAF or 80-20, which is better project. It's just sort of a transition now that will take me to those 5 and 10 kilometre races in the MAF section of this project, and then later on where I'm starting to do the 80-20 running towards the other 5 and 10 kilometre races mid-year. And just on that, guys, the 5 kilometre race is coming up in less than 3 weeks now at the Great South Run, so it's going to be really interesting to see how things pan out there. So yeah, doing these interval sessions just keeps things a little bit interesting with the MAF. We can get a bit sort of bored or frustrated with MAF, just doing the same thing over and over and over and over. Throw in a few curly things like these intervals. For me, I've left the MAF at home a couple of times when I've done parkrun over the last couple of months. It just gives you something to look forward to when you're running at MAF. I've got a MAF test in week 6 of this training blocks, so something else to look forward to. Now I'm going to do another Yasso session about 10 or 11 days out from that first 5 kilometre race, so should be able to get a good gauge on sort of how much improvement I've had just in that short time frame of 2 weeks. If you do have any questions about interval running to the MAF heart rate, hit me up in the comments down below, guys, and I'll try my best to answer any queries that you may have. So that was Wednesday, guys, so let's see how the rest of the week got on.
Look what's happening! How long's it been?
Well, I've still got my... Oh, you ripped it off.
Oh, it just came off.
Oh, it just came off. There was a sticker on there that shows you how long it's been since I've ridden. 2 years and some months.
Where was it?
Harvey Bay.
Harvey Bay.
Yeah. Hundy 100.
Alright, yeah.
And it's just fallen off in the breeze.
And my bike's got dust on it. It's very dusty.
Yours is a lot cleaner than mine.
I don't know. Anyway, let's give it a go.
Off we go. Saturday, that means it's parkrun day. Trying out a different parkrun today, St Lucia parkrun. Trish and I haven't done this one before. Just a short drive out of Brisbane CBD, and the course is along the Brisbane River, as you can see. A nice gravel path. A little bit cooler this morning, guys, so that's much appreciated after all the hot weather and humidity we've been having. And we're here at one of the universities in Brisbane. So the aim today is to not get carried away like last week and keep that heart rate nicely in that MAF zone. Wife down. There she is. She might say hi.
Maybe, if you're lucky.
Hello.
Hello.
Do my thing up.
Have a nice warm up.
That was alright. Just doing the cool down. St Lucia parkrun done. Nice little course, really enjoyed that. 3 180 turns in that course, but all on this gravel road or gravel path. Really pleasant. Cooler conditions have certainly helped. Heart rate really good today. Got a little bit high when I was filming, but other than that, really relaxed, really controlled. Really leafy along here, well protected from the sun. Head back to the start finish area and meet up with Trish and go and find our coffee. So there you go, guys, another week down in the Project MAF or 80-20, which is better. Hope your running is going great, and all that needs to be said now is stay safe and happy running. Hooroo!